Hello everyone, and a very warm welcome back to our channel. Is to make complex topics not just understandable.
Okay. So this is the layout of MySQL, and here, so when you are going to connect with the server, this is going to show you on top of the layout. So here is the root is username, localhost is the password. Now, so let me show you how to connect the. So this is the layout of the MySQL. These are the databases. Sakila, SYS World. These are the databases. This is a
Yeah.
layout. Here you will be able to get files, editing, view. So how we are going to connect with the MySQL, let me show you. First I am going to import data into MySQL. Okay, how we are going to import data into MySQL, let me show you. Click on the server, and where you will be able to figure it out, data import option.
Yeah.
Here you can see, from here itself, click on whether if it is data is inside of your local machine, local computer. If it is in folder, just pick up this option. If it is in the self-contained file, pick this option and click
Okay.
on these three bars. And here you will be able to see this .sql file. This file is I am going to share import progress. Okay, which is going to import into the MySQL itself and start import. Now data has been imported into MySQL. So let me click on here. This is the refresh button of MySQL.
Yeah. Okay.
If you click over here, you will be able to see movies DB. This is the database we have imported to MySQL.
Yeah. Okay.
And now here, if you click on file, you will be able to find new window. Here, for example, under the database, we have tables, views, store procedures, and functions. Now we are going to work on top of tables itself.
Mm.
So these are the tables: actors, financials, language, movie actor, movies. Under the movies table, I'm going to click this last icon. If I click over here, you will be able to see table.
Yeah.
So for example, let me show you. This is a table. This is a movies table. Select star from
Table.
movies. So for example, just wait. So you have to select by default. For example, I'm clicking on the database. Here you can select default schema. Set as default schema. Okay, this is the option. So you are selecting that particular database. If I run this query, what is going to happen? Which is going to show you that particular table.
Yeah.
You don't you don't have to write anything. So you know how to import data into MySQL. So the imported data file is, which is SQL.file. This is the file. Okay, let me show you. So this is a SQL file, the imported file into the MySQL. Let me show you so that you will understand. Where is the file? Home. This is the file. This is SQL.file. This is not like a CSV file. Let me open so that you will understand. Okay, which has been already opened here. This is the SQL file we have imported. So let me close this. Simple. We have done, just we have imported one file into SQL. The file name is .sql file, and this is the way you can import. And by default you have to select this database by looking at here itself, set as default schema. You need to select that particular database. Now we are looking at the movies table. by clicking on this third icon. Okay, now you will be able to see this is the table session, and now here we are going to write the queries. This is the first query you have tasted, like select star from movies. Star means all the columns like movie ID, title, industry, release year, IMDb rating. These are all the columns we are going to call it in MySQL language. Star means all the columns from the particular table. Hope you understand. Now let me talk about, for example, you have to understand before writing the query, you need to understand the table is movies table. Movies means we are having movie ID, title, industry, movies names KGF, The Dark World. These are the movie titles, industries Hollywood, Bollywood, Tollywood, something, release year, IMDb rating, studio name, and language ID. Okay, these are the information we had. Now I would like to write, so where industry is equal to Bollywood, how you are going to write? Select star from movies table, and where industry is equal Bollywood. Bollywood. Okay, so make sure make sure there is no spelling mistake. If I run this query, you will be able to see only Bollywood respective title, movie ID, release year, all the information only respect to Bollywood. That's why we have mentioned where clause. These are the clauses. Okay, where means this is the one function in MySQL. Select star from the movies table, and where industry is equal to Bollywood. In interview, people are going to ask you, I just want to get only Bollywood movies from the this movies table. If somebody is going to ask you, you have to write this query. Okay, select star from movies table where industry is equal to Bollywood. And the next one, for example, I just want to figure it out only distinct industries. Distinct industries. In that case, select, you have to write distinct from movies table, select distinct from movies table. Here we want distinct industries means you have to mention industry. Okay, so my requirement is simple. I'm asking, for example, Manoj, I want only distinct industry from the movies table. In that case, you have to write select clause and distinct and industry. This is the industry names we want to see distinct industry from the particular movies table. If I run this query, I will be able to see these distinct industries, like two distinct industries, Bollywood and Hollywood. These are the two distinct industries. Okay, now you will be able to see select clause and where clause and distinct function. These are the basics of MySQL. Now I'm going to talk about, for example, I want to, we have table, this is a table, we have titles, these are the movie titles. Here you will be able to see Thor. I want to get all the movies only which start from Thor. I want to see only whatever the movie which is going to start with the Thor. In that case, if I am going to ask you, for example, Manoj, could you please able to figure it out titles which are starting with Thor? I want to see those movies titles. If I ask you, you have to write that query. So in that query, in that way, you have to write like this: select star from movies table. Okay, select star from movies table, and where title is equal title is equal title like Thor. I will explain. Just wait. Thor. So here, if I run this query, what is going to happen? You will be able to see only Thor movies. Only Thor movies. Okay. So here you have to understand when you are going to use like function. Okay. Here we have used distinct function. Here we have used where clause. And now here we have used like clause. So when you are going to use like clause, you need to understand. First, like clause means if, for example, here we are having multiple title names, movies names. But my requirement is, my question is, I want only the movie which is starting with Thor. I want to see all the movies, whatever the movie which is starting with the Thor. I want to see all the movies. In that case, you have to use like function along with this percentage. This percentage we are going to call it as a wildcard search. If you don't keep this one, which is not going to show you before whatever the text is there, that particular title, and this one which is going to show you after Thor. For example, this is a Thor. Before, is there any text is there which is going to show you this wildcard search? After Thor, this is going to show you that particular respective text. Hope you understand when you are going to use. If you want to search something on top of table by taking piece of word, like any word, if you want to see those particular titles, you can use like function, like uh, clause. Hope you understand. So now you will be able to see different kind of clauses. These all text, these all the queries which we have written. This is only going to provide text information. Text information means there is no numeric information. Now we are going to talk about numeric queries. Whatever we have discussed, those are only text queries. Now we need to discuss about numeric queries. Numeric queries means, for example, select star from movies table, and where where uh, title is equal, okay, where release year release year is equal release year. I want to see release year between 2017 and 2019. Okay, let me show you so that you will understand. So here, for example, I want to see only movies which has been released in between 2017 and 2019. In that case, you have to use between clause along with and clause. And means here two conditions must be true, which is going to provide 2017 to 2019 all the movies. Only those movies we will be able to see in this particular table. See, 2019, from starting from 2019 to until 2018, those are the movies available. So this is the way you have to use between clause and along with the and clause. And for example, select star from movies table, where if you want to see where release year in 2018, 2019, 2020 or 2021. So let me tell you, if I run this query, you will be able to see all the movies 19, 18, 21. Okay, so the difference, let me explain. Here we have used between clause. So which is going to show you only movies in between 2017 and 19, and means both conditions must be true. And here we have used in clause. In clause means multiple conditions. For example, I want more than 2. Here we have taken 2 years in between 2017 and 19, but here we had multiple values in same column. This is the same column. In that case you have to use in clause. Okay, if you want to see, if you want to check multiple values from the particular respective column, in that case you have to use in clause. For example, if I run this query, I will be able to see all the movies from only those movies which are released 2018, 2019, 2020, 21. Okay, between we are going to use only 2 years. But if you want to check multiple values, then you have to use in clause. Hope you understand. And now, for example, I want to get, let me close this, select star from movies name, and here order by IMDb rating. I want to see IMDb rating. I want to see highest IMDb rating movies. Just this is my requirement. I'm going to ask you, Manoj, I just want to see highest IMDb rating, like highest to lower one. In that case, we are going to use a descending order. Descending means highest to lowest one. So we are using order by clause on top of IMDb rating. If I run this query, you will be able to see only highest IMDb rating to lowest one. Okay, so this is the use. I mean, these are the basic functions of like MySQL. This is the order by clause we have to use, like making the order like one by one, 1 2 3 4 5. So if you want descending or ascending, you have to use. If you want to higher to lower one, you have to use descending. If you want to use smaller to higher one, you have to use ascending. If I run this query, which is going to show you smaller one first and then bigger one, followed by like 1 2 3 4 5 like this. And now let me talk about a few more functions. Select star from now. Now I want to, my requirement is, now I want to, now for example here we had all the movies. Let me show you. We had all the movies. So we had all the movies. So here first movie is 101 KGF chapter 2 Bollywood 2022 8.5. I want to skip this 101 and I want to start with 102. In this case, how you are going to write the query? This is my requirement. So I want to skip first record. So 101, this whole row we are going to call it as a record. Okay. I want to skip this first 101 movie ID record. I want to start with the 102. In that case, we have to use, for example, select star from movies name, movies table, and I want to skip order by IMDb rating, IMDb rating, and limit 5 offset 1. So limit 5 means, let me run, where uh, title is equal to, where industry is equal to Bollywood, where industry is equal to Bollywood. Let me run this query. So here you can see limit 5 means we are only taking, let me run here itself. We have 5 records, 131, 139. This is the 5 records. Limit 5 means we had only 5 records. So offset 1 means the first one, 131, which is going to skip, and 139, which is going to start. The first record which is going to skip. If you write offset, the first record of the table which is going to skip, like which is going to delete and start with the 139, raise 3. And limit 5 means which is going to show you only 5 records, top 5 records. If you keep it 10, which is going to show you 10 records. See, 10 records. Okay. Now I'm going to keep it as a 5 records, and offset 1 means which is going to skip the top one, 109, and start with the 132, like that. Okay. Here you can see 139 raise 3 by skipping the first one. The first one is 131 Sanju, and if you write offset, the offset which is going to skip 131 start with the 139, and after 139 we are able to see 5 records because limit is 5. Hope you understand. Now let's talk about simple aggregation functions. Aggregation functions are like minimum, maximum. These are the aggregation functions. Select. I just want to select star from movies. Okay. So here I want to see minimum IMDb rating, maximum IMDb rating for particular movies, and average IMDb rating. I just want to see. In that case, you have to write here select minimum IMDb rating from movies table. So if you run this query, you will be able to see minimum IMDb rating. So you can give me alias as minimum rating. This is the column name. As means you are giving the column for column name. Okay, let me run this query. So minimum IMDb rating. Okay, this is the name of the column. We are giving alias. By giving the alias, we are writing. So minimum IMDb rating is 1.9. If you want to see maximum IMDb rating, just Control C, Control V, most powerful thing, maximum. Just run this query. This is going to give you the maximum. And if you want to see average, just keep it average, and minimum, maximum, average. Okay, average IMDb rating, and you have to change. Okay, here this is the alias name, average rating, and okay, this is maximum rating, maximum rating, and then, and if you want to see count, select count IMDb rating, Control C, Control V, from movies table as count. Okay, if I run this query, you will be able to see the counts, total count of IMDb ratings. Total count means, let me show you, total or count of IMDb rating. This is the records 1, 2, 3, 4. If you count like this, the count of IMDb rating is 38. So these are the basic functions today I have explained, and I want to explain one by one more function, which is group by clause. Select star from movies, and here uh, my question is, my query is, I want to see only Bollywood, Hollywood industries and their industry count. Okay, let me write the query so that you can understand. For example, I want industry, select, mm, select industry and count from movies table, and here group by industry, industry, group by industry, select. Yeah, so select, we have selected. My requirement is simple. I want to see industries and their count. So whenever you are trying to select star from movies table, so here we had two industries, Bollywood and Hollywood. The count of total Bollywood is 18 movies. The count of total Hollywood movies is 21 movies. For example, in the here title, we had different Bollywood and Hollywood movies. The total Bollywood movies count is, if you run this query, if I count is total Bollywood movies count 18, total Hollywood movies count is 21. So, for example, if I ask you, Manoj, I just want to see different types of how many industries are there in movies table. I want to see their along with their count. In that case, you have to write this query: industry and count and group by industry. And whenever you are going to use group by class, you have to use aggregation functions. Aggregations functions means these are the aggregations functions. Let me show you. Uh, these are the aggregation functions. Okay, minimum, maximum, average, and these are minimum, maximum, average, count. These are the group by class. Whenever you are going to use group by class, along with group by class, you have to use these aggregation functions, either minimum or maximum or count, anything. And make sure whenever you are going to use group by class, the particular column name, which is industry, that has to be in selected class. This is a selected class. It should be into the selected class. For example, here if I use IMDb rating, it should be into selected class, IMDb rating. Okay, if I run this, which is going to show you IMDb rating and their particular count. Hope you understand. This is how you have to use group by class. So you can ask me one question. For example, group by class. Let me do it. Group by, order by, IMDb rating, IMDb rating descending. Order by class is not in group by class content. Okay, IMDb rating. I will explain, just wait. Okay, count IMDb rating, IMDb rating, comma, industry. Yeah, so uh, you know, right, we have used select clause and group by clause, order by clause. Now you will be able to see all the things. Even title also you can write whatever the columns you want, you can write in the selected clause. There is no problem, but that has to be whatever whatever the columns which has been selected in the selected clause, that has to be in the group by class as well. Title, see, title, IMDb rating, industry, and count. So we have used select and whatever the columns we want from the movies group by, order by.